EIU graduate student Jaime Marcos from the EIU track and cross country team. All right, Jaime, kind of wrapping up here. You're super senior, graduate student. I guess just quickly reflect a little bit on what these, 5 or 6 years. I know that sounds like a lot, but it has been for you, and it seems like it's probably gone pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting coming in because you've got 4 years of eligibility and 5 years to use it. COVID mixed things up a little bit, so I got lucky and was fortunate enough to continue competing a little longer than as expected. It's just been a lot of growth and development and experience as an athlete and as a person, and it's been, I don't know, I just can't imagine myself growing as much as I did anywhere else as I was able to here, and I accomplished a lot. I set a lot of goals out for myself when I was younger. I've always been an ambitious person. It's like any other athlete. I didn't meet all of those goals, but I did reach a fair amount of them. And I always have the idea of legacy in mind when I'm doing things as an athlete and as a person. And I've built a legacy here with the people that were with me, and I was fortunate enough to have those guys around. And yeah, I'm proud of what I built here and what I'm going to leave behind.
Now, you run cross country and you run distance events in track. How do you, prepare yourself for those? Is there a different mentality you take to each one of those seasons, and the fact that I can imagine they kind of are grueling and taxing on your body?
Yeah, sure. Preparation always comes in the off seasons. The harder you work, the luckier you'll get. And so really in the summers and in the winters, when you have those long breaks, those are the times to really train like a professional athlete. And my coach used to always preach this, and something I live by now, or I used to, but I guess still do. And it's just like you live and breathe kind of running, and it's like you arrange your days and your times, the amount you sleep and the amount of miles you run. Everything's kind of like all one recipe in terms of meals and nutrition. And so if you live like that day by day and you have a structure and you really put in as much work as you can in the small time slot that there is for those off seasons, you're going to be as prepared as you can be for the coming season. Because once the season comes and you start racing, you can't pile up the mileage as you used to be able to. And so, you're not going to be able to put in as much work. But yeah, it does range for cross country and track. I think it takes a little while to figure out what your rituals are, like what songs you like and what dynamic exercises you do and what you eat. And so, it took me probably 3 years just to really figure out what worked, when to eat, how much to sleep, get the nerves out. And it was a matter of figuring that out, and then of course just being prepared in the off seasons.
And I asked that question because you were in a unique situation this year in the fact that you came back, as you talked about, had that extra year of COVID, so an extra year of eligibility, and it randomly worked out for you that it was for indoor track season. So you had to watch your teammates, your friends, run during cross country. And then all of a sudden it's your turn to kind of jump to the spotlight there during indoor track, and then knowing you're not going to get to compete during outdoor track. How did that change your preparation, different than it's been all these other years, that knowing that I've only got to focus on one singular season or event to be my best?
Yeah. I would say the difference with this year compared to others was just how much time I got to prepare. So how much time normally, the off seasons are 3 months long. For me this time it was 6 months. And it worked out well for me because I do think I'm an internally motivated person, and I do have a fairly good work ethic. So I tried to make different goals for myself in different races. I would race unattached. It was just a matter of really I think every season and every year, you tell yourself man, if I just had a little bit more time to train, I would be able to do this. Or if I had a little bit more time to do that, then I would perform this way. But this time around, there really wasn't any excuses for me to say that. And so I use that as motivation every day. I don't want to get to indoor season and think, man, if I had another week or another month or if this or that, then I could do this. So this time around, I just knew this was all the time I could ever need or use for a season of eligibility. and I utilized it and really just try to just visualize every single day and week of what it was going to look like to step on the track with the uniform on again, and what things I wanted to do and what goals I had. And I just knew the off season was how I was going to reach those goals.
Now for you, you talk a little bit about it's an individual sport. You have individual goals, you have individual motivations you just have to go through, but it's a team sport at the end of the day. You win by your team scored in track more points, in cross country less points than the other teams. What makes Eastern unique in terms of building that family dynamic, that team dynamic that has made those programs successful?
Yeah, I think it comes down to leadership, and I think about our current coach, Coach Roberts. A lot of coaches and people in general, they say things, but they don't always do things that kind of back up what they say. And Coach Roberts from day one always said that he cares about the person more than the athlete. Sometimes he asks the question of like, you're a student athlete, which one comes first? And then people might say the students, some people might say the athlete, and then he tells them that they're wrong. It's the person. And I think every coach can preach that and say that, but with this coach, he goes out of his way and he does things that really lets you know that he cares about the person, not just the athlete and the athletic parts of stuff. So I hope that other athletes share this same idea as me, but I think it's really just a matter of the leadership from the coaching and like letting us know that they care about us, not just as athletes or students, but as people. And then if this, I think just the leadership all in all.
Thanks for joining us, Jaime.
Thank you, Rich.